Ball. Welcome to the show. You guys know it's the boy, one and only Steve. He's gonna break down everything that I don't really cover. I just tell you if the game was good or not. But he's gonna tell you what everybody shot. How many rebounds they got. What the field goal percentage was. So very disappointing to me that we lost. We absolutely got destroyed without Bradley Bill, Devin Booker. Man, this is crazy. I feel ashamed, man. Man, Kevin Durant had 41 on our head, and then I forgot they even had Eric Gordon. He had 21, but the bright spot, no other than Marcus Sasser, was absolutely on fire with 22 points. I think K finished with 26, but he only scored 4 points in the second half, I believe. Because in the first half, I think he had 21.
Yeah, it's something like that. It was pretty bad, and that's been a disparity so far. He was before this game like third or fourth in the league in terms of fourth quarter points at 41, but his true shooting percentage on those 41 points was like 38%. It's just like in the bottom of the barrel. You can really tell second half defenses are selling out just to stop Cade. It's been really frustrating. And I mean, it's partially what happens when you play Killian and Asar together, both guys shooting under 40% from three from the entire field. And then we all love the star. You can't like. It pains me to say this, but before today, he was shooting 6.3% from three, 6.3% from three, and then we all see Killian just bricking things one right after the other. Like there's two defenders that just laugh and go help Cade, so he's dealing with like triple and quadruple teams. Been frustrating, but it's good to see him back and still doing what he does. It's pretty incredible, actually, what he's been able to do with the cramped spacing and just not a lot of help.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I don't think he had. I'm not too. I did miss bits and parts and pieces this game. I know we did have 16 turnovers, but I don't think he turned over the ball that much this game, which is very good compared to what he has been. I know he's averaging 5.3 turnovers a game, something like that. He's got to cut that down, but I don't really think I ain't see too much turnovers today. He did
Uh,
get.
he had he had six today, though. He had six today,
Oh
unfortunately.
man, dang!
Yeah.
See, I
I mean, I think to me, part of his turnovers are more what I just talked about. Like he's doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is when you're the lead playmaker, you score, keep your head up, keep your eye on the rim, or keep your eye on your teammates and stuff. Right? He's doing that. It's just while he's doing that, those other two guys sagging off of Killian's guy and off of Asar. Like he's had to compete with those other dudes, and if you notice, he's getting the ball poked out. Normally, when he's getting in the paint or getting inside, because he's had to deal with multiple defenders. But I mean, he also is trying to complete certain passes that's just like, what are you doing, man? The one that sticks out in my mind is it's the fourth quarter. They get the ball after KD just shot another foul shot and inbound to Cade, and then he some for some reason tries to like chuck it up court to somebody, and I think it was Josh Okogie immediately just comes in, grabs it, easy bucket. It was like, why, man? Why? I think frustration starting to mount, right?
Mhm. Yeah. I'm gonna be real. Monty Williams. I don't know why you haven't did it. I would do it for right now. Go ahead instead of killing, put Marcus Sasser in there. Why not? I mean, he's been proven that he don't turn over the ball that much. Not only that, he plays really solid defense and he stretches the floor. He's been red hot from three. I I think I looked at his numbers. They saying he's averaging 7 points a game, and he's shooting like what 50 some percent from three and 50% from
Yeah,
three.
yeah. Yeah, it was like 60% from two and like 50, 58, something like that from three. And today he shot fantastic. I mean, that's obviously not going to stay that way all season, but I mean, 40% really isn't out of the question. And it would shock me if he doesn't end the season somewhere between like 36 and like 40% from three on a legitimate volume.
Yeah, because that's what he did. See, I told y'all about Marcus Sasser. Yeah, I told y'all to stop sleeping on him. He did this. He did this at Houston. He played all 4 years at Houston. He proved that he was a steady guard who could play both positions, who could knock down the three and play really, really solid defense. He showed this at Houston. People kept on saying going down to G League. I was like, for what? So he could drop 50 or 60 points a game? For what? We need him now. And I will start him until Monty Morris come back. I think that will fix a bit of the offensive problems. Cause we still gotta wait on Bogey, but I don't really know how Bogey fits in. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of weird.
I keep saying trade him. He doesn't make sense. The guy that works is Alec Burks. Alec Burks' true shooting percentage is like 65 something percent, but he's shooting 23% from 2 point range. It's really weird. It's just because his 3 point percentage is astronomical, and he knocks down foul shots and he gets to the line a lot. Like what Burks does is what you want Bojan to do, and Burks is an okay defender. Like you said, my fear, my biggest fear when Monte and Bojan and Livers come back, but it's more Monte and Bojan, is they're going to push Ivy down the lineup, and then they're going to push Sasser out of the lineup. I recently tweeted at Bryce Lyman of Motor City Hoops and Amar Sankofa, and Bryce actually hit me back because I asked him that question, like, okay, Bojan and Monte come back, but like, where do their minutes come from? And he was like, Sasser and Joe Harris, their minutes probably go away. And that's like 20 minutes right there. And then Killian's role is reduced. It's what we all want, right?
Mm.
But with how much Monty loves Killian Hayes, I just can't see him like falling completely out of the lineup. And again, Bojan, like you said, I don't know where he fits in. Yeah, you want him to space the floor, but like you don't want him getting in the way of everybody else, and especially with the Ivy issue that's going on now, you don't want to throw another guy in there that's going to be taking shots away from him or that's pushing him further down the lineup. And Bojan might be a worse defender than Ivy, so if that's like really the legitimate beef with Ivy and what the team's trying to hold him accountable for, like Bojan is an equal liability, and he's worth something too. I think like I don't know that any team would panic trade for him now or like really go out of there. But I mean, there's like the Lakers, maybe Memphis. He's probably not like the best fit for him. Memphis has got up to this terrible start. Like Indiana might be able to utilize him. The Heat definitely need a shooter like that in the lineup, and he's basically an expiring contract too. That's another like thing that could be useful for a team that's like, hey, we'll just use him for this year, and we don't really need him anyway, and then we can just cut him, and he's only worth like 2 million if we cut him, so it frees up salary. Yeah, I just don't know where Bullion fits in anymore.
Yeah, I don't either, man. And I think we need to go somebody younger and hope and might have like a little bit of the same, but then get to show who could shoot threes and play a little defense and fit better with this young core. That way, I would be trying to go for, in my personal opinion. But the one thing that has to go. I'm sorry, Monty Williams. You can like Killian, but it's time for you to go ahead and sit on that bench. I ain't gonna lie. I mean,
Yeah,
he played decent today. I'm not gonna lie, he better against. I don't even know who was out there besides Jordan Goodwin and Eric Gordon. Kevin Durant. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't know who else
yeah,
was
yeah.
out there. So
Yeah, I was done with Killian after that Portland game. Going 0 of 6 against what could be the worst team in the NBA, like
mm,
it's pretty inexcusable. Um, and everybody on the team, the number one question you should ask is, do they help Cade? And Killian is an absolute no. He's the one guy that just does not help. I don't care how good his defense is right now. Everything else about him is just dragging down the team. And what you said about Monte Morris kind of fixing things, I think definitely because he's super low turnover. He's over 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, and he's a 39% 3 point shooter. Like that guy should just eliminate the need for Killian. Yes, Monte is not a good defender. Like, let's be real about that. That might suffer, but you'll see a much more functional offense if it ends up being a Monte Morris in there. Beef Stew's improved as a 3 point shooter. Kada went over 6 today, but he's done really good as a shooter so far. And then him and Duran just spamming that pick and roll. It would be nice to have another guy out there that can stabilize when they start getting too turnover prone. That is another 3 point shooter that helps to space the floor out. But man, I don't know. Again, we all want Killian to just be eliminated from the rotation. So it's probably going to be a little frustrating once everybody's healthy and Killian's still getting like 20, 15 minutes a game. Yeah, it's frustrating, man.
Yeah, the one thing that I will say that this team has problem with, I mean, the turnovers is ridiculous, but to me, they start off hot or they start off really, really, really slow, and they get into the mode right before like the half is about to end. They get to score and get to do everything. Then they come out, they start ball watching. They don't move around. They don't cut. The offense gets stagnant, then we get to turn over the ball, and then the team get to go out and run, and now we can't come back in no more because the team's out of gas and out of juice. Like I think the vets will definitely help, but I'm just hoping the vets could get back soon because this is starting to become ugly. We started off pretty well, and now we have lost four straight in a row. And really, these last three games we played, we probably should have won these games, especially without the stars that they had on all of the teams, which is sad to me. I don't know what to say no more. I don't, man. It's early in the
Yeah,
season.
well, even for me, I thought this team was going to finish 27-55. Like that was my prediction. And my Piston pod calls data driven Piston fans had 30 wins. Even for us, we're like, oof, these are some bad losses here. Look at that Heat game versus these. Like the Heat game, that's the kind of loss you want to see, right? It's tight till the end. They don't really let things get out of hand. You don't see like the visible frustrations, but injuries are a part of it. Like I never thought Alec Burks would be this integral to the team. Just how they play with him versus how they play without him is part of it. And again, he's been spacing the floor fantastically, playing really good basketball out there. They need him to come back. That's part of it too. But again, the reason why I was always down on them, maybe not down on them, but to me, it's realistic. 27 to 30 wins. The average age of the guys on this team are 23 and a half years old. So they're an incredibly young team. I think the stat was there's only 5 guys on this squad out of the 15 who've seen 3 or more seasons. So like the turnover stuff, like doing dumb fouls, that comes with the territory. But yeah, it's been a rough patch these last like 3 games.
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely agree. I think the team is just we gonna have to really be together as a team, and hopefully, when the injuries come, I mean, when the injuries stop, hopefully, if everybody stay healthy, we can build team chemistry, and the turnovers start to go down, especially over time of the season. But the one thing that really got me upset today, I'm not gonna lie, is Jalen. I was expecting Jalen Duran a lot better play from him. I was expecting a lot of better play from no other than Beef Stew, man. I ain't gonna lie. I think they were very crucial. I think Marvin Bagley really hurt himself today with falling out and not getting limited minutes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially with Jalen Duren, I think like what you saw was a veteran team taking advantage of a young guy who doesn't really know quite how to play the right way yet.
Mm,
They got him in a lot of situations where he ate charges or he just was caught out of position. A lot of flopping too. I mean, I can't count them in number of times Suns dudes just fell on the ground. You're going to get the whistle too when KD is there. But Stu, I thought played fine, especially since one of his main tasks was guarding KD. He did the best job out of everybody
yeah.
else, right?
Mm,
Marvin Bagley just looked lost and like that should never been his job. He just got taken advantage of time after time. That's why I got the fifth foul and just sat out by like the third quarter.
mm,
And then again, Jalen Duran, Nurkic, Drew Eubanks, and a couple of those dudes just got him in trouble with veteran Lyle. It's one of those things. I think Jalen Duran was a little less worrisome. He's still a little bullet in China shop, right? The way he plays,
mm,
so not that big of a deal. But with Stu, I'm definitely gonna push back against anybody that's overly critical of him because like he's asked to do too much right now. Realistically, he's like
mm.
fifth starter to like seventh man, right? Those are probably his ideal roles, like the defense, the shooting. You don't really want to ask him to run offense. but he's still going to be a glue guy or fill in those holes you need as a switch guy. Hopefully, more and more as the floor spacer, and you just can't ask him to do all these different things. Maybe it's like Dylan Brooks syndrome, right, where you hate him because he's asked to do too much. Where if he gets a scale back roll, you're like, oh, actually, he's a pretty good player there. So good defense on KD. I think Sasser too. Like Sasser got switched on to KD twice, and I was like, oh no, oh
Hmm.
this is going to end badly. But he held up fine. Nobody can stop KD. But for a 6'1" dude, handling maybe the best offensive player ever. He looked fine out there, and he didn't look overmatched or scared. So it was nice to see both Stu and Sasser handle defensive assignments the way you would like them to.
You are right. Still, surprisingly, he's been playing well this year. I was one of them guys like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily know, but as his role as a glue guy, he did help on KD a lot. I totally forgot about that, but you reminded me. But I love Asar, man. I love Asar. He was another bright spot today. He's a rookie. I don't care about his shoot. We don't care about his shooting percentage because we know he's gonna bring that hustle, that defense. He's that glue guy that we've been needing. That wing. I would say Asar played his heart out today. Dive on the loose for the loose ball, calling timeouts, getting in there for jump balls. Asar Thompson, definitely you was one of the bright spots today, and definitely I slept on you. I ain't gonna lie, I was iffy. I was iffy. I'm not gonna lie,
Well,
I
he's
was
he's
iffy. I
he's
was.
a ball of he's a ball of clay, man. He's going to be a long time developing. So
Mm,
um, I just implore anybody like with a star, you got to be patient. Number one, he's basically coming straight out of high school. Like, yeah, OTU was good, but they still didn't run like complicated NBA offenses. They definitely didn't run like defensive, coverages that he's going to see here in the NBA. But go look at guys like Kobe, T Mac, KG, Tyson Chandler, J.R. Smith. They have terrible rookie numbers, and I suspect the star is going to be similar to those kind of numbers where you're like, "Whoa, man, this stuff is rough." But you still see all the flashes. His engagement on defense is pretty fantastic, and I don't think it's a stretch to say he's the best defender we have right now. Which
no,
I wish it weren't the case, but he still that still doesn't take away from him being really good on defense. And I look up to go just go look up his numbers. He's one of like few rookies ever in NBA history who's posted the points, blocks, steals, rebounds. Like there are very few guys that have ever posted these numbers in the history of the NBA. So you love him out there. You just wish he could shoot a little more. 2 for 3 from three today, but hopefully that continues down the stretch. I'm just looking for like 30% from three. I ain't even like saying he needs to be an average shooter. Just as a rookie, make enough of him, man.
yeah. I would definitely agree. Ain't he one of the only players that's like 6 foot, like 6 or 6'7", averaging only like 2 blocks a game or something crazy like that, or it was almost three?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
He's pretty
man.
much the only non-big to doing that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
It's not like
But
he's camped out in the paint all the time. Like he's got to get after it, man.
yeah, he does. I think he had one block today. It was crazy. He swatted that thing out of bounds with force. I don't know who. I think it might have been Drew Eubanks or somebody like that. He was not having it. But that's pretty much. Uh, do you got something to add for the game? That's pretty much it for me, man.
No, just that I'm more and more impressed with Sasser. Like you can't demote him. He just
Mm.
looks more impressive the more minutes they give him. All he's got to do is knock down threes, play tough point of attack defense. Like you can't take him out of the lineup right now.
Oh, I will agree with you. But one thing I wanted to ask: somebody said Ivy was sick. I know he's not injured. What was going on with Ivy not playing at all? What
I don't
happened?
know. I don't know. I'm skeptical. I tweeted out about it. Like I don't know, man. And Secret Squirrel, shout out Aaron. He tweeted back like, "Yeah, he's sick of playing defense." So I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully he gets back soon, and hopefully he starts getting more minutes. Even for me, who was a Jaden Ivey skeptic and had been critical of his defense, I think it's pretty inexcusable to play him these few minutes. And if he goes below like the seventh man, which is what he is currently, like Bojan and Monte come back and they play him under like eighth man, ninth man, I'm probably going to lose it because it's like, what are we doing?
I would definitely agree. Um, yeah, somebody said he was sick. I've heard because he definitely wasn't injured, but I seen not that long ago his dad was complaining about him not coming off the bench to kill in. I was like, I don't know, man. He might ask out. I don't know. I'm not saying that he will, not this soon in the season, but I would not be shocked. I'm praying he don't. I want Jaden Ivey to be a part of this team. Um, and hopefully start next decade in the near future. Who knows? I don't know, but I'm just hoping he's a part of
Yeah.
the team.
Yeah, it's too early to sound the alarm bells, but if you are like saying it's a big deal, it's hard to say it's not. I mean, it's just been odd. Everything about Ivy and what Monty Williams has said publicly is just odd, man. I wish it wasn't the case. Again, hopefully this is just a little blip on the radar, and by like mid-season he's playing with the starters and stuff. But man, it's worrisome right now.
Definitely is. Well, make sure you guys go to Rezball Podcast. He is on Apple, Spotify, and he is on Google. He just dropped the Ivy concerns. Why people should be concerned about Ivy on all three platforms, I believe. Let let me not get that wrong, right? Didn't you?
No, no, you got it. Yeah, we just Jaden Ivey concerns early in the season. My co-host and I, data-driven Piston fan, aka Andy, we talk about how concerning this is. One of us sounds the alarm on this being a big deal, and then Andy breaks down why he thinks there might be like three competing visions between coach, GM, and owner for this team, which I can see what he's talking about. So definitely give us a listen if you can. Like you said, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, wherever you get your podcasts, we're out there. Go search Rezballpod. It's a Pistons pod, and it is also an NBA draft podcast. So Substack will be coming back soon. As always, Piston Mike is always welcome on the pod, on Substack, anywhere. He and I try and do stuff, more collabs together. Hopefully, we'll do more collabs in the future.
Definitely, because we got to break down eventually because the college basketball season is coming up, and I can't wait. They calling this a weak draft. I don't know. There's always people
I
who.
hate that. I
Mm,
hate it. I had a pod in the summer that said I'm already sick of your 2024 draft takes. That was the main reason why.
mm,
Every time they say it's quote unquote a weak draft, like 2013 is a good example.
mm.
Giannis comes out of that. Rudy Gobert comes out of that. Every time they say it's a weak draft, you're going to overlook guys when that happens. I always say it's more fluid. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, it's not set in stone. Even the Paulo draft, like, everybody had Paulo, Chet, and Jabari 1, 2, 3 once Jabari started playing games, and it was less of a thing. This one is more fluid than that, meaning like nobody's really set. Ron Holland's probably in the top spot, but after that, like just go to any NBA draft expert, Rafael Barlow, the No Ceilings guy, Sam Vecini. They all have different opinions about like who's at the top five, just because nobody's really been set in stone and been like on the development path that clearly states I'm a superstar. It probably doesn't help too that the best prospect maybe ever was drafted last year in Victor Wembanyama. It's hard to follow that up.
Yeah. Um, like you said, every time they say that, it's just players that come out of nowhere. What a lot of people don't like, and I'm about to say, there's a lot more upperclassmen in this draft that I think got a lot to prove, and there's a lot of freshmen that got a lot to prove, and we're gonna see who battle out. But there's always a lot of prospects that come out of nowhere that nobody was talking about, think about, then they put on the show. So I cannot wait. I think college basketball is in a few days or like tomorrow.
Tomorrow, actually, yeah, tomorrow is a lot of games for different teams. My Lobos, I'm from New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico originally. I went to University of New Mexico for my undergrad. There tomorrow. I'm here in Tucson, Arizona. I teach at the University of Arizona, so our Wildcats play tomorrow as well. So a lot of teams starting tomorrow.
Can't wait to break down. Oh, my bad. Can't wait to break down some draft podcasts for you. Podcasts and break down Pistons with you. Steve, it's always a pleasure. We just got to get the times better because he's busy.
Yeah,
I'm busy. I'm trying to figure out. He has work. He's a college professor. I'm just a regular average 9 to 5 dude, but my hours be crazy too. Not gonna lie. But always a pleasure. It's your boy Piston Mike. It's Steve at Rezball. Make sure you go check him out. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out this podcast, and we're out. Peace. Do, do, oh, oh.